Right, everybody? This is just a quick one on maybe it's the biggest C of survivability, right? In the long list of C's in survivability is the confusion that it can cause. So I've got a few items out here, and I just want to try and clarify up something for a subscriber of mine, Thomas, Dopey Dog, everybody else. Plymouth Fens, go and check him out. He's a good lad. The way he makes his kits. Oh, Plymouth Fens, if you can be bothered, show some of your kits off that you make. I think your kits are brilliant. But he comes up with good questions. You know, there's no such thing as a silly question, right? Somebody will ask a question because they want to know, right? And if you can't help the lad, go and find out somebody who can. You know, that's the way we look at it, right? Today's question was about cotton bandanas, right? They're not bandanas, these are handkerchiefs, right? And how many should you be carrying, right? I'm a big believer in your kit is for you, right? All your kit should be personalised. We might have standard kit, like ferrocerium rods, some sort of water bottle, you know, fire starting techniques or whatever, right? All standard kit. But these C's of survivability, right? One of them is cotton bandana. I don't wear a bandana. I always carry a hanky in my pocket, which is generally one of those type. I've got a couple of shamags, right? I carry them. But back in the day, we used to be given sweat rags. You know, you get a sweat rag. This happens to be a microfiber. It's just a microfiber towel. The old boys will know what that knot in the corner's for. You know, you not put a knot in the handkerchief. People say, "Oh, I've got a knot in the handkerchief, so I don't forget something." It's to clean up the bell end area. But you always know that's a dirty bit. But sweat rags. So yes, cotton bandanas, many uses. I carry them. Carry handkerchiefs. I carry a couple of shamags. They're not here at the minute. They're at my wife's house. But I'm just going to clarify on a couple of things, right, about the C's of survivability that can get confusing. Like you said, how many cotton bandanas do you carry? I think two's more than adequate, mate. Two's more than adequate. Possibly one, but don't get hung up on them. Right? That's a chopping board there, look, just to make a point. Right? So, combustion, right? I live in Scotland. I find it very difficult to get fire going when it's like it is now in these seasons, right? Because it's generally constantly wet at some stage or damp, right? So these three here are just to demonstrate that some people could get away dead quickly with a flint and steel, like the area Dave Canterbury lives in, basically dry. Most people have a ferrocerium rod. Everybody should carry a lighter. Doesn't matter if it's a big lighter, right? I haven't got a contract with any lighter company, but somebody else has who recommends big. Ditch the big, you're better with a clipper, and that, I mean that. So for me, right, all the natural tinder fire starting stuff, right, I'm better off carrying a guaranteed fire starter. Just happens he's on Mad Dog Fireworks. Your other fire starting available. He does biscuits. Those round thing there, these Mad Dog biscuits. And those things there, that's your Mad Dog jewels. So I carry guaranteed fire starting over natural stuff, like, you know, trying to gather my own natural stuff, because it can be difficult to light fires naturally. Fire's important. That's just to demonstrate the combustion. Some people are much better off with a flint and steel. Some people are much better off with some sort of lighter. And a ferrocerium rod should be carried and learned how to use properly. The next thing, right, I'm going to go on is, there's a young lad, Prepper220, over there. He hasn't got many subscribers, so anybody who's subscribed to me, please look up Prepper220, join in, right? He came up with something about the 5 C's, right? And he said the cotton needle, one second, I'm just going to have to pause this, right? Just make sure that's there, right? He came up with the cotton needle, right? Your big cotton needle, right? He said he would much rather carry some pharmaceuticals, so, than a cotton canvas needle, right? And the guy's right, isn't he? I think the guy's right. There's nothing wrong with having one of them at all. But to count that as a C of survivability, to me that's a bit lame. Whereas you couldn't think of a C to call this, right? And I said from, well, we could call it Suticals, for pharmaceuticals. So to me, I think the lad's got a bang on. I would much rather carry some medication, right, than relying on a cotton sail needle. I thought that was a good quote of his. In the same breath, I'd probably have a chopping board. So a chopping board could come in a C over the cotton needle when it came down to the crunch. But for me, it'd be painkillers, unfortunately, at the minute. And that's just to represent other kinds of pharmaceuticals. So I thought that was a good call. He would rather carry some Suticals over a cotton needle. Thought that was a good call. So it can get confusing. It can get confusing. I was going to do a brew kit, but that's just all cheap, right? Decola mug with lid, and there's a little stove on the bottom of that one. I think that was £16 all in when I got that. And the bottle is a Combat UK bottle, which isn't. It's a 58 pattern style bottle, but it's not your proper Osprey water bottle, right? And that's side by side, and that's the Pathfinder canteen kit. Again, the fella who beats on about the 5 C's. I mean, you know, I'm not knocking them. 60 quid nearly. What did I say? 18, £25. Nearly £60. £25. The last time I bought a new BCB bottle or Osprey bottle was from Ray Mears' place, right? I think they're £10, but you get the bottle in the cup. I've had this for God knows how long. And that's the proper Osprey bottle. Again, it's one of mine. Had for a while. And a mug, right? These are the Crusader Mark II mugs, which I think are the best mugs in the world, right? And I think you're probably paying about £15-16 for them. That's the Mark I mug. Don't get the black one. Get the non-coated. And I've got my water. That's a pouch. I don't put on my belt. It's just a pouch. And then I've got a metal lid. Got to buy the metal lid separately. It's up to you. But I've said this before. You can buy Pathfinder lid separate, about £6. So maybe it's about £20 for that setup there. Metal mug with a lid. And £30. You know what I mean? I think they're about a tenner. You've got to get a 50 pattern bottle. They're about a tenner. 60, 25. Approximately 30, you know what I mean? It all does the same thing.